Today on the LA Food Podcast, I'm Lucas Servodio, and I'll be leading you into battle against the machines. I'm joined by Danielle Wargo, who you might know is forking around on social media, to see if we can outdo ChatGPT at putting together a list of the top 10 best restaurants in LA. Who will prevail, man or artificial intelligence? Stay tuned to find out. But first, we're joined by Danielle Duran Zecca, the chef and owner behind one of LA's hottest upcoming restaurant openings. I'm talking about Amiga Amore, the Mexican-Italian fusion concept that's serving dishes like elote agnolotti and chicken tinga arancini. We discuss what sparked the melding of these two iconic cuisines and where you can get your hands on their creations before they officially open their brick and mortar in Highland Park later this year. So without further ado, let's chow down. Today we are very excited to be joined by the chef and owner of the most exciting and perhaps the only Mexican-Italian concept I've ever come across, Amiga Amore. It's Chef Danielle Duran Zecca. How are you doing today, Chef?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you staying dry?
Yes, trying to at least.
As we're speaking, there's like torrential downpour happening outside my window. But I wanted to bring you on because I had the opportunity to eat Amiga Amore's food about a year and a half ago, and it was one of the most enlightening meals I've ever had. It was a concept I've never come across before. Can you talk us through a little bit about the concept and how you came to it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it has to be a little bit of a backstory. I met my Italian husband in New York City. We had a restaurant there where I was only doing Italian food and not, real classic Italian. So like a pasticcio with hard-boiled eggs and
Yeah,
amaretto
wow.
tiramisu that only like his mom and this region of Italy was known for. And
Was
just
this his restaurant?
it was his restaurant, yes. Him and two other partners. But he was a young owner and he was looking for a chef. So I was the chef that he was looking for.
And had you cooked Italian food before?
No, it was
No, so
actually my
so
first run in.
wow. So did you have to like go in and learn a lot, or was it or did they test you on the spot and ask you to make a cacio e pepe or something like that?
No, actually, he believed in me before he even like saw me cook. He was like, "Okay, I guess I'll just give you the job." And his mom is a chef, and he grew up in a pizzeria in Italy, so she had come down to help put the restaurant together and kind of really train me. So I had about a month long experience training with an actual, you know, Italian like nonna grandmother style cooking, but still like I mean being able to put out food with her, and so it was amazing. I learned really everything from the gnocchi to their lasagna to cacio e pepe to everything dessert. Yeah.
That's incredible. They charge a lot for that on Airbnb experience. You
I
know what
got
I
it
mean?
for free.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I
So
mean,
that
even
was
in
your
that moment, she said to him, "You're gonna marry this woman." So I think she was giving me her insight because she knew it was like I was already part of the family.
wait, no way. Even before you two started dating, you had the mom's blessing?
Yes,
Wow. Well, that's a good place to start from.
that's what I think.
Yeah. So that was your real training in Italian food, is learning directly from a nonna.
hmm
And how long were you at that restaurant before, you decided to spin out?
Well, we had that restaurant for about 4 years, um, and unfortunately, New York being what it was, it raised the rent something ridiculous, and so we were kind of like at a turn point. Do we stay in New York? Do we work for other people? And I had the opportunity to help open Le Coucou, which is
Mm.
Michelin starred now, and so it was kind of like that last like New York hurrah. We both worked there, kind of started we've always worked together, so it was kind of a no-brainer if we were not going to work at the restaurant together, that whatever job we would get would be together.
Got it.
And then yeah, kind of started putting into motion that we wanted to move. We weren't sure yet. LA had come about because this is where I'm originally from, so it was like, okay, it'd be nice to be near family again, be able to like plant some roots. Is this where we want to see ourselves? So, got a job working at an Italian restaurant in Pasadena and moved here. Um, and yeah, kind of just began our whole journey.
Which restaurant was that?
Union.
Oh yeah, I love Union.
hmm So I was the CDC while Bruce was away filming for Top Chef.
Oh no way. He was on was it Colorado?
Yes,
Yeah, I remember that season. That's really exciting. So that so you kind of built it because Likaku is not Italian,
it's
but
not. It's super French, and
right.
that's what all my training was. So
Yeah.
I guess I wanted like one last, I don't know, slap in the rear. Or
Wait, so did you always know you wanted to be a chef?
yes,
Yeah, and
I thought. Well, I really thought I was only going to do pastry for a
yeah.
really long time, and then one, crazy night at the restaurant, I had to work the line and had the best night of my life.
Oh, really? So it was kind of an accident.
Yeah, it was like not being thrown into it.
Yeah. And so you grew up in LA, you said.
Yes,
Nice.
born and
So you came back home, you started working at Union, or were you both married at this point?
raised. Yes. hmm
Nice.
We were married really months after the restaurant opened, so
oh no
it
way.
happened very quickly. Yes.
Wow, so that all happened lightning fast, like a good romantic comedy. And then you moved back to Los Angeles. You started working at Union, and when did you decide to take the plunge into doing your own thing?
Well, a few months after, really, I think being back home kind of gave me more of this push. Like I should be doing way more than like I don't know, just working at a place, and it was great, and I enjoyed it, but it was not. I just needed more. I was ready to be my own boss again. So we started catering. We started a little catering company called Eat Your Heart Out, and then I began to produce our hot sauce, which is El Choro, which was a long time coming. It was a sauce that my grandmother would make with me. It was a sauce that we would put on everything. So it just kind of, New York, I love it, but it was like a hustle bustle. Like I was always on
Mm-hmm.
the hamster wheel, and all these things that I wanted to do, I just never had time for. So, here it's a little bit more chill, and I had more time. And so I was able to do all these little side projects as well as cater. And then in the midst of catering, I kind of hit like a rock in a hard place, and um, I loved everything, but I just felt like, I was cooking so many different foods, and some days it would be Southeast Asian or Middle Eastern or Mexican on the rare occasion. And I kind of wanted, like, what is my cuisine? What is it that, like, I studied for? Is it French? Like, not French. Like, what is
Mm-hmm.
it that really represents who I am? And if we had a restaurant, that was the big thing too, was catering is great because you can put on all these hats, but if we had a restaurant, which was our dream again, what would it be? And we had so many ideas. Like, I mean, really, I can go through a scroll of names with you that just because we're creative and we're like, oh, we could do that and it will be like that. And then, but it was, very strictly Italian. And one was like panzerotti, and we would just make like these fried
Oh, that's
pan
a
pizzas.
great idea.
Right? We will have a dish, but yeah, and another was like 24 carrots, and we're gonna have like 24 different vegetable like dishes. Yeah, like crazy ideas. But in the midst of that, I kind of, yeah, found Amiga Amore. It found me, really. It was my husband, not, us having to do two different dinners a night, because we would go to the taco truck and I'd be like so hyped. And I'm like, yes, I'm getting like five asada and like two lengua. And he's like, I'll just have one. And I'm like, one? That is not going to. And he's an eater. Like, he can eat like a lot. He's
Yeah.
Italian, he's slim, but he can like put it down. So I'm like, that's not gonna fulfill you. And he's like, well, I'll just order a pizza later. I'm like, that's not okay. And yeah, he became my project in a way, because I knew if he was going to eat pizza and pasta daily, I could slowly start incorporating, cilantro, which is a hard flavor for a lot of people, especially
Yeah.
Italians that just have really beautiful produce and products that you don't need to, you know, do a lot of things with.
So did you have a first dish that you kind of like came up with and was like that brought these two cultures together and you were like, man, we're really onto something here.
It would be the elote, agnolotti.
Yeah, oh, because that's kind of an iconic dish that you guys are cooking up, right?
Yes, I think that's the one that was the first pasta dish, and that was just so, you know, the light bulb, the aha moment. Like he wasn't liking corn, he didn't like corn tortillas, and corn is a staple of Mexico. So it was like, how can I get corn into him? And it just, yeah, it came about. I was like, it's a simple dish. At first, you know, we used tahine, the store bought, and then I was like, I can elevate this. So then we started dehydrating our own chilies and dehydrating lime and making our own tahine. So we've elevated it to a point where, yeah, I think it is the staple of Amiga Amore.
Which is really funny because to say you don't like corn and be trying to eat Mexican food is kind of like saying, you're gluten intolerant and trying to eat Italian food.
Exactly.
It's like
Like
you're
he
not
would go to the taco truck and be like, "You don't have flour tortillas?" And I'm like, "They do for like a quesadilla or burrito." And he's like, "Well, I want my taco." I'm like, "Oh God."
he's got to go to Sonora then.
Yeah. Oh, he's he's like next to me and he's like high fiving and like thumbs upping because yes, he definitely that's on the list. Now he's
Yeah.
become truly a huge fan of a lot of things, and we take trips to Mexico often. You know, not just R&D, but like putting a lot of the restaurant together. We would drive there and get the tiles and the fabric. So he's become quite a fan of just a lot of dishes, and so it's funny to see now.
Yeah, as you should. I'm from Italy, but I have to say my favorite place to eat except Italy is Mexico. 100%. I just think it's truly just like one of the most exciting places to go out and just walk down the street and see what you find. You're never going to be
Hmm.
disappointed.
Exactly. Couldn't
So,
agree more.
so the elote agnolotti, for those who don't know who are listening, can you break down that dish for us?
Well, yes. So it's the little ravioli pastas. They're like little pillows. Are stuffed with sweet corn puree. It's topped with gotija, finger limes, and a house-made tahine. So it resembles Mexican street corn.
I love that so much because it's agnolotti are kind of a fancy food. They're
Yeah.
like they're kind of like a fine dining food in Italy.
Hmm.
Even though you get plenty of nonne making them, you're often finding them at some of the most sort of like quote unquote refined restaurants. So you're combining something that is very much a street food and putting it in a fine dining form.
Yes. Hmm.
It's really cool. It's a great dish. I mean, that's one that I've had the chance to try, and I remember it just blowing me away. So I first tried your restaurant or your concept at Nativo here in Highland Park, but that was a while ago, and you guys have been up to a lot since then. What is Amiga More up to today? And where can people find your food?
Yes. So with that pop up, we were able to see, you know, what area we really wanted to be in. So we do have our first brick and mortar opening in Highland Park, hopefully within the next few months. And in the meantime, we are doing pop ups. So the next one we're doing is actually in Westwood at a restaurant called Violet, and we're going to be doing a collaboration with the chef there, Brittany Cassidy. So it's kind of like women. It's kind of, what am I saying? It is Women's Month in March, so
Yeah.
it's definitely something that we always try to participate in, seeing that it's a woman-owned business. And so yeah, that's going to be a brunch March 5th, and that's our next event.
That's awesome. And what kind of brunch dishes fit the
Oh yeah.
concept?
Yeah. So she is heavily French trained chef, and so we are kind of emerging like my three favorite, you know, French, Mexican, Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we will be doing a carnitas croque madame. We
Oh
will be
my! God.
Yes, a birria Benedict. So I'll be in charge of that.
Wow.
A churro French toast. Um, yeah, that to name a few.
All right, March 5th. I've just put it in my calendar because I don't think I can miss a carnitas croque madame. That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Uh, I have to ask, where do you like to eat when you're not cooking?
Oh, great question. My husband's pointing to himself like at home. No, he does make a mean like pasta. Like even yesterday, I made like pasta fagioli, which was fantastic.
Oh, underrated dish in my opinion.
Underrated so much. But I think when we go out, it's let's see. We just tried Pizzeria Bianco. That was fun.
Oh
That was
yeah.
great. We like Wolvo in Santa Monica. That's just a really good pasta.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's just really all the taco trucks like Leo's on Eagle Rock or El Huarache there in
Yeah.
Highland Park, La Cabanita. Yeah. So for me, it's obviously the comfort of Mexican food. But I mean, I, yeah, I love both now so much. So even
Yeah.
like today, I'm like tortellini and brodo would be so good right now.
Oh yeah. Do you ever find yourself like going to the taco truck and like bringing some parmigiano with you to sprinkle on top because you just fusion?
Not yet. I
No.
don't know what they would do to me, but I
Yeah.
do bring it home, and sometimes add some things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
Well,
fun.
I mean, you talk about like, pasta fagioli. I mean, if I had some salsa macha on hand, that would be incredible in there,
Exactly. Or our hot sauce, El Cholo. I
Or
mean,
your hot sauce.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we actually put it in.
That's genius. And so Leo's on Eagle Rock, is that related to the Leo's around town, the Al Pastor specialist?
No, but he's really great too. It's just
Got it.
sometimes I don't feel like driving to, what is it, Silver Lake, which
Yeah.
isn't that far, but
Yeah.
it's
To know, but
traffic. It's the LA traffic.
exactly. No, that can make you not wanna go out very far at all.
Hmm.
Well, so you're opening the brick and mortar soon, but where can listeners find you online in the meantime?
Instagram, we are always posting everything through there. Um, I think that's the best place.
Awesome. And that's Amiga Amore, like friend in Spanish and love in Italian, right?
Correct.
Awesome. Okay, well,
100%.
we'll link it in the show notes, but thank you so much for making time to speak with us.
Thank you. This was great.
I did it. Today, we've got a very special guest on the podcast. It's Danielle Wargo, who you might know as Forking Around, either on TikTok or Instagram. Danielle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, man. Thank you for joining. Are you staying dry?
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best right now. It's pretty crazy out there.
How does the rain affect your influencer endeavors?
It does in the fact that sometimes I just don't want to drive somewhere. Like tonight I'm supposed to go to this restaurant and I'm like, "Oh, I really don't want to drive there."
Yeah, yeah. No, people legitimately lose their minds on the roads when it's like
Yeah.
this.
They can't drive. It's like it's so simple, but
Yeah.
they can't do it.
Do you like gravitate towards certain types of food when the weather's like this?
I do like, maybe a hot soup, a pho, or a ramen or something that's, kind of warm. Because I
Yeah.
won't eat those on like in the summer. I mean, maybe once or twice, but like if it's hot, I don't want hot soup.
No, I swear to God, me and my fiance, we're always talking about how we need to go get ramen, and we never do.
Right.
We'll be like, we're just gonna wait until it's cold, and then of course, summer rolls around, and it turns out we haven't had ramen in like 3 years now.
Yeah, I know that. I know that life so well.
Yeah, yeah. What do you have any go-to ramen spots, pho spots?
I do. I like a few. There's a spot. I actually don't know the name of it in for pho in like Sherman Oaks, Van Nuys on Sepulveda. I think it's called like pho number 9 or something like that.
Oh, so it's not one of those punny names like pho for you or
No,
pho for you?
it's none of those.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, So for those of you who don't know that are listening, Daniel has a really, really great account. It's called Forking Around, but it's relatively new. You started during the pandemic. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you're kind of an interesting one because you started off with a different concept, which was cooking.
Yeah, it was kind of like I just wanted to do YouTube long form videos, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with that channel, and everyone was kind of talking about your niche, and I was really anti niche, so I just kind of I really wanted to learn to cook. So and it was, this was 2020, so I just was, in the kitchen, not going to restaurants and stuff.
Did you pick up a special thing? Like everybody picked up baking during the pandemic. Did you pick up, any particular cuisine?
I tried to keep it, moving through different types of cuisine, but I did, I think my favorite thing that I did a whole month of making pasta. And so that, I love making pasta from scratch is what I learned.
Oh, like making fresh pasta.
Like making fresh pasta, yeah, with your hands. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have any tips or tricks on how to make it good?
I mean, I'm talking to an Italian here, so I don't.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I've made pasta maybe a dozen times in my life, so I'm by no means an expert.
Yeah,
at eating pasta, I'm very much an expert.
I'm sure you are. Yeah.
But making it is a whole other bag of tricks.
Yeah, it's hard, and I never have had one of those the pasta makers or whatever, where you roll it through and it makes it really, really thin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that has been kind of the biggest thing I've learned is when you're doing it just with a rolling pin, you gotta keep going. That extra 10 times makes such a big difference.
It's true. It's gotta be thin. Gotta be thin. Yeah. I do have one of those pasta machines actually, and they're really, you can get them really cheap on Amazon these days.
I never thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you get the hand cranked ones,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They make for a great gift too, If you ever want to give somebody a gift that they'll never use, just give them a pasta machine.
There you go.
Yeah. So what point did you transition over to TikTok from YouTube?
So basically, I don't know how long it was, maybe 6 months in. So I started the YouTube in July of 2020. And then sometime in the fall is when kind of YouTube Shorts started coming out.
Yeah.
And so I tried one. I think I just did a nothing little. I did some of those baked oats that people were doing a lot at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it got more views than anything that I had ever done. And immediately, so I was like, well, that's something. So I tried to, kind of go down that road of me. And originally it was just YouTube Shorts that I was doing. And then I started posting them on my own TikTok, which I still have, but it is not the Forking Around TikTok.
Yeah.
And I had this old Instagram account, which was called Danny Dines, where it was just really crappy pictures of food. And
I love that. Are you aware that Danny Dimes is what they call New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones?
Yes, I wasn't at the time. I don't know that he was there when I started that.
Have they tried to buy it off you?
No, because it was Dines with an N.
Oh, okay, got it. That's probably less lucrative.
No.
Although I would love it if Daniel Jones started a TikTok account where he goes and eats shit.
I really
calls
want
it
that,
Danny
actually.
Dines. Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be
amazing.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so then you joined the crazy world of TikTok.
Yeah, eventually
as Danny Dines.
No, as Forking Around TV.
Oh, okay, got it.
Well, I wanted just Forking Around, but lo and behold, someone has that name, so I added the TV.
Are they doing anything with it?
I don't think so. There is a few Forking Arounds that I've actually connected with, but usually it's forking _around or some version of it. That's not I've never seen the actual handle being used. Maybe it is, but I don't really look for it anymore.
Yeah. Well, until you become a media conglomerate and you'll need every single Forking Around handle out there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the plan, right?
That's the plan. I will send you my resume as soon as we're done here.
Perfect.
so you started it off and I mean now your videos like do really well and whatnot. But at the start, was there like a time when you were like just basically doing it for, you know, your grandma and your college roommate?
Yep. Yeah, a long time of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hundreds of videos, honestly.
And how did you, because you've got a very like positive, you know, happy-go-lucky voice. Did that sort of come naturally, or did it sort of also kind of like, you know, refine itself over time?
I think I always kind of think of like the thing that I do on the camera as like a little bit of a character.
Yeah.
It's me plus, you know? And so I never wanted to be like incredibly negative about food, because especially about small businesses, because everyone's trying their hardest, like everyone wants to put out a good product, and some people that maybe don't have a great product think they have a great product.
Yeah.
So, you know, I never wanted to be that guy who's out there, you know, bashing on places. I always wanted to be positive and honest. So that's where, you know, that's where I kind of meet that sometimes, because I never want to be mean, but I also want you to trust me.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
that is key, right? How do you refrain from demolishing a spot without bringing down their business? You know,
Exactly.
if you don't like something, like how do you navigate that? I mean, recently I saw you eat something you didn't like,
Yeah.
but talk me through that. How do you approach those?
Yeah. So, I mean, luckily, there's always an edit that comes after. So I can, you know, I usually try and do a few different things. So recently I had a pizza I did not care for. I was really bummed out. And like,
Yeah.
there's some footage of me on the camera going like, damn it. Like, because I want it to be good. You know, I'm hoping it's good, but now I've got to give this other kind of review.
Dude, I love that. I mean, honestly, most people, if they have something that they don't like, they just like, or like, you know, shrug it off or whatever. They don't really think twice. But, you know, I am like you. If I have
Yeah.
something I don't like, it could ruin my whole damn day.
Yeah. It's kind of a big thing. It's like, oh no, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I try to, you know, I try to always say, if that does happen, I try to explain why I feel that way, like what the sensation, the flavor, the texture, the cooking, like how any of that is affecting me in a negative light.
Yeah.
And I always say that I might have come on a bad day, you know, just to preface, like, hey, maybe it's not always like that.
It's true.
And then I usually try to ask on camera to say, did I get the wrong thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes that is the case. And it's like, I've had that before where people are like, no, you got to try this. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I probably should have tried that, you know?
Yeah. I saw you do that with Arby's, actually. Was it your first time going to Arby's?
This was my first time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you pick what to order? Did you just like gravitate towards what sounded good?
I think so. I had made this video very just trying to get content out there where people, where I just said I thought Arby's was kind of like a front for like a cartel or something, because I didn't think anyone actually ate there.
Pretty impressive front for a cartel, honestly.
It is, yeah. I thought it was like one of those, you know, the chicken place in Breaking Bad, and
yeah, el pollo los hermanos. Or
yes,
whatever.
exactly, that one. So I got a lot of hate from people about that, and so some people had said to get the beef and cheddar. So that's just what I like picked when I went there. But when I tried that, I found out like 100 other things that are better than the beef and cheddar, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably just their classic item, right? That's probably like when Mr. Arby back in the day,
right,
you know, opened up the first ever Arby's.
Exactly.
That was the one thing they were making, you know, a beef and cheddar sandwich. Some were cold, probably the Midwest.
Right.
And that's probably just what they're known for. But I'm sure
it's classic old school American.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally. You know, it's funny. Arby's for me, I grew up in Europe, right? And I kind of grew up idolizing Arby's because my mom came to America for the for college, and she told us stories of, you know, working as a young woman at Arby's. And so I had this like there was this like family lore to Arby's.
Wow.
As this like quintessential, American fast food, place where dreams come true. And so when we came to America for the first time that I remember, I was like 12 years old. We went to New York City and I made my family go to Arby's in the middle of New York City. And you can only imagine my disappointment when the beef and cheddar sandwich hit my plate.
Yeah. Oh, it's not the American dream you wanted.
Or actually, is it a pretty a depiction of what the American dream is actually like?
100% it is.
Yeah.
It is a very realistic description.
Yeah, honestly. That's the government right there, Arby's. Yeah. Well, anyways, so I want to hear, so you do awards, best ofs on your account and whatnot. I want to hear, what are some standout meals you've had recently?
Yeah, that's a good question. So recently I've been doing this Orange County pizza competition. And I have people like put their recommendations toward me. What is the best pizza in Orange County? And it goes on for a few months. And so I've had some really, honestly, genuinely surprisingly good pizzas in Orange County, which I didn't know. I just didn't know there were great pizzas in Orange County, but there are. Man. I haven't been to these, but the ones you have been displaying look incredible. And honestly, some of the pizza makers I know in Los Angeles, some of their favorite pizzas are in Orange County. That's so interesting.
Yeah. I'll tell you, but I'll let you go first, and then I'll tell you about the ones I've heard of.
Awesome. So one that I had recently was Lunitas.
That's the square slice, right?
It's square slice, and I met the chef, and he's very much like, it's not Detroit style, but it kind of looks Detroit style. So he's like, it's kind of Detroit Sicilian was what he said, and then it's a mix of a bunch of things, but it was excellent.
Is that in San Juan Capistrano?
It is, yeah. It operates. It's kind of like a pop-up essentially. It operates out of this Mexican restaurant's like back kitchen.
That is so badass.
Yeah, and you gotta text him to get your order in.
I miss those days, man. There was something magical that happened during the pandemic where all these pop-up pizzerias were happening, and half the fun was even getting your hands on one of the pizzas.
Totally.
It was like, you've got to go to this back alley, right? And you've got to
ask for a guy named Carl.
Ask for a guy named Carl. Sing Selena in a Spanish accent and twirl around 3 times. And then maybe we'll give you your pizza if you're deemed worthy enough,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So that's one of those. So that's one of those spots, Lunitas.
And then there's this guy, I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong. He's a pizza chef in Orange County named Trevor Kochek. And he doesn't run all of the places, I don't believe, but his recipes are used in 3 different places. Okay. And they're all excellent in different ways. They're all New York style. He's from New York. The 3 are Sergeant Pepperonis, which is like name. Newport Beach and Irvine. Epic name. And then there's 2 Saucy Broads, which is in Fullerton. And then Brewery X, which is a massive brewery. Yeah,
I've heard of that one.
So yeah, and that one, they actually, because they have the brewery attached, they actually make the water in a way that is similar to New York water. So that's your kind of closest representation.
And I know you lived in New York. Do you find that is a good representation?
Yeah, I think it's excellent. I think everyone in New York, or everyone in LA, the people in LA want lots of toppings and stuff like that, so they have that option. But their traditional or just pepperoni pizza is just excellent, top notch.
That is a pretty good summation of what makes LA pizza is there's a heavy emphasis on toppings here, I find. It's interesting. And in New York, it's just, you can get some toppings, but it's never going to be pounded with toppings and a sauce on top and I love it all. Yeah.
but it's different.
I do too. It's just it's just different. I feel like there's also been a move towards other types of pizza here, especially during the pandemic, where there has been an increased focus on the quality of the dough and whatnot. So I feel like we're kind of getting the best of both worlds now, but certainly some of the more like, OG Cali places that, you think of as like LA pizza, you do see a lot of those special varieties, if you will.
Yeah.
So what's the best pizza you've had, LA or Orange County?
Currently I'm gonna say Lunitas.
I think that's risen to the top.
Yeah, but I will say, like, I haven't tried a lot of LA pizzas.
Yeah.
I've tried a few, and I really liked Apollonia's.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones I tried. I would probably put that right in my two, basically, for right now.
That's a great chat, honestly. A lot of people really love Apollonia's, and I do think it's one of the better representations of New York style. And I mean, obviously they've got that like insane square slice as well.
Right. Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite things you've done recently on your account is you've asked ChatGPT what it thinks the best restaurants are, both in LA and Orange County. I absolutely love that.
Thanks.
How did you come up with that?
I'm always like looking for content ideas. I try to post, a bunch, 15-ish times a week, and I can't eat 15 times a week. Well, I can, but I can't film and eat like something unhealthy 15 times a week.
Right.
So I'm always kind of looking for something else. And I saw a lot of those ChatGPT videos, back when it first came out, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen one about food.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love that. Well, speaking of though, I've also seen you start to do like salad videos too, where you just like,
yes,
is that just so you can like eat something healthy as well?
It's twofold. Yeah. One is, yes, I need to. It's so hard managing your life as a foodie.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Man vs. Food?
No.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh, was that the one when he did all the challenges?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that guy had to like quit and go into like rehab afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think he's still piecing his life together, honestly. But talk about a difficult life to have, which is just going around and doing insane food challenges just to make a living,
Right. Oh my gosh. But I get it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's what you and I both aspire to, if we're being honest.
Exactly.
So, okay, I thought it would be fun if we basically did what you did on your Instagram, but did it here live as a competition.
Okay.
Where we ask ChatGPT what the top. Oh, hey, what's up, buddy?
Sorry, that's my Sherman.
That's okay. That's okay, Sherman. The Sherman heard about ChatGPT and got all excited.
Exactly.
So, I was thinking we could plug into ChatGPT. What are the top 10 restaurants in Los Angeles? And then we can compare each of our respective lists to ChatGPT. And then after the pod, we'll put it up for a vote on Instagram to see which list wins.
I love it.
All right, man. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
I'm gonna plug it into ChatGPT, and when I come back, we'll do our rankings.
I love it.
Okay, we've plugged in the inquiry to ChatGPT. We've asked ChatGPT what the top 10 restaurants in LA are. It prefaced it with this. It said, as an AI language model, I don't have personal preferences or opinions, which is good to know. But here are 10 popular restaurants in Los Angeles that are highly rated by critics and customers. So before we go to ChatGPT's number 10, I want to hear your 10th best restaurant in Los Angeles.
Okay, just to say, I don't have them in any particular order.
Okay.
Yeah, because I couldn't. It's too much.
It's too hard.
And I'm also going to preface by saying I tried to pick ones that like wouldn't be, because I haven't tried like a ton of restaurants. So I mean a ton of nice restaurants, I should say. So I picked ones that I really love that I think are the best.
That's fair. And just to, I kind of did the same thing. I haven't actually been to some of the restaurants that would probably make it on a critic's list of best 10s.
Right.
So I'm just going with, what I've been to, and honestly, like where I would most want to eat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right there with you. Okay, so we're on the same page.
Awesome. Okay, so what's your number 10? I know they're not ranked, but we're going to pretend they are. What's your number 10?
I'll try to rank them a little bit. All right, Cici's Cafe in Tarzana.
Okay. What's your thinking there? What is this place? I've never even heard of it.
Breakfast and brunch. The most insane pancakes.
Okay.
Amazing breakfast and brunch spot. They have these matcha pancakes. Oh, I'm obsessed with them.
What style of pancakes?
They're just like giant, like plate filling regular flapjacks.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm into that. And you know what? You don't see a lot of diners on top 10 lists. So, I appreciate that.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I got to have one breakfast on here.
Yeah. No, I don't. And I don't actually have one. So kudos to you for taking that brave swing. My number 10 is Holbox. Have you been to Holbox?
No, but I've read about it.
Yeah. So I did it on my taco countdown last year. It's at Mercado La Paloma. And it is seafood tacos and other sort of seafoods. It is incredible. Truly some of the best food I've had. They have this one like octopus taco on like a squid ink sofrito. Wow. Oh my God. Truly incredible. So I'm giving that my number 10.
Amazing.
Now, do you want to hear what ChatGPT had?
I do.
ChatGPT's number 10 restaurant in Los Angeles is Langer's Delicatessen.
Interesting.
Yeah, it describes it as an iconic deli, which is correct, and famous for its hot pastrami sandwiches, which is also correct.
That's a solid one. That's like an LA staple.
Yeah, I like that. Honestly, it's so far on my sandwich crawl of LA that I've been doing this year.
Yeah,
it's my most highly rated sandwich. They're number 19.
Wow.
So, it's an interesting shout. I don't know that I would make it a top 10 restaurant just because if I'm thinking about like holistically with its menu, I'm not sure that like everything on the menu hits quite as hard as the pastrami sandwiches. But I actually appreciate. I think it's an offbeat shout, and kudos to ChatGPT.
Yeah, I love it. Why not?
All right, what's your number 9?
Okay, so number 9 here is going to be. I'm actually going to go with Sunnin in Westwood.
I love that spot. The Lebanese spot, right?
Yes, Lebanese.
Yeah. No, that is an excellent shout. I feel like Lebanese food does not get the love it deserves on top restaurant lists. So I'm so here for it.
I love that spot.
What's your go-to dish?
I mean, honestly, I always get something different there. I love the kibbeh. I always try to get that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like the great thing about Lebanese food is the whole point is to like get different things, try new things, right?
Yeah. So, well, and I mean, it's not like I go every week or something. Maybe I would, but if I'm there, once a year or whatever it is, I always want to try something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, my number 9 is Night and Market.
Oh, I've been wanting to go there forever.
Dude, we should go. We should absolutely go.
Okay.
I'm gonna say on like modern top 10 lists, like today top 10 lists that you're gonna see from restaurant critics, they would probably have like Anna Jack Thai on this instead of Night and Market. But I haven't been to Anna Jack Thai yet, which is my failing.
It's like the hardest reservation to get right now.
It's really hard. Honestly, we should just go camp out there.
And try to seriously.
And but I think Night and Market like walked so places like Anna Jack Thai can run. So
yes.
I'm gonna put it on my list, and I'm proud to do so.
I love it.
Are you ready for ChatGPT?
I'm ready.
Number 9, Major Domo.
Okay.
Korean-inspired restaurant Chinatown by David Chang. Yeah. Have you been?
I have not been.
I went once to celebrate my engagement, and
amazing.
It was very good, although as you can imagine on a celebration of that caliber, there's not too much I remember about that meal.
Sure, I would imagine so. I have a few of those too.
Yeah. So guess I'll have to go back, but according to ChatGPT, that's the number 9 restaurant in Los Angeles.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right.
What's your number 8?
All right. Harold and Belle's.
Harold and Belle's. I love that. I actually am thinking about going there for the sandwich countdown.
You should.
It's Creole food, right?
Yeah, it's such an LA like legacy,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great one. What do you get there?
I've had a lot of different things. I've had the gumbo, the catfish, the po' boy. There's like these baked mussels, I want to say, that are amazing.
That sounds excellent.
Or oysters, I can't remember, but yeah, it's my buddy used to bartend there, and so I would go and kind of post up at the bar while he was working, order a bunch of food, and they sometimes have great music in the bar too.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. It's like in South LA, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close to like West Adams, USC. It's in between USC and West Adams.
Yeah. Okay, Harold and Belle's. Dude, I'm loving your top 10 list right now. It's so off the beaten path.
Thanks.
In terms
That's
of like
really, yeah, that's what I wanted.
In terms of what's typically like on these top 10 lists, I'm absolutely loving it so far. Mine is a bit more basic, but you'd expect that from me, you know?
I love it. I want it.
So my number 8 is, speaking of, well, I just felt like I needed to represent Koreatown on here. So I went with the most famous, but also my favorite Korean barbecue spot, and that's Park's Barbecue.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm not sure that there's like all that much that separates it from some of the other Korean barbecue spots, but considering we have some of the best Korean barbecue in the country, if not the world, in Los Angeles, I feel like putting on the best one is a surefire way to get in the top 10 restaurants list.
Totally. And I think with Korean barbecue, I mean, you can go wrong. You can't really go wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody has their spot.
Have you had bad K barbecue?
I've had cheap K barbecue.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just you can tell the difference.
You're like, wow, I'm really chewing a lot right now.
Yeah, that's exactly. And there's like 3 banchan.
Like, that's bad.
It's like cool.
Everyone knows, you know, it's all about the banchan, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I want a lot of that.
Yeah, me too, man. Well, number 8 on ChatGPT's list is animal.
Oh, okay. That's kind of an old it feels like it would be on an older list.
Yeah, like a 2010 list or something like that. Yeah. Which is, they describe it as a meat-centric restaurant in Mid-City. And it's famous for inventive carnivorous dishes like pig ear, foie gras, and bone marrow. Which, funny story about Animal, they were, you know, when I first started getting into food, there was a show that I like to watch on the Food Network called The Best Thing I Ever Ate.
Okay, yeah.
It's literally just what it sounds like. Different chefs talking about like the best things they ever ate. And this one guy talked about this chocolate bar dessert that's at Animal. It's basically just like chocolate ganache with like bacon. And I went to do a really sad solo dinner at the bar at Animal one time. And I had an entire meal and I ordered the dessert. And I consumed it. The waiter comes by and says, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "You know what? Could I have it again?" And,
oh my God.
And they were just like, "Wait, was it?" Super confused, right? Because they were like, "Wait, was it not good? It looks like you ate it all." And I was like, "No, I just want it again. Maybe this time with a glass of milk." And so I had it twice, man. It was that good.
Oh my God, that's so good. I love that.
Yeah. So, what's your number 7?
All right, number 7. Okay, this one might be on some lists.
Okay.
But Jitlada.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's classic great Thai.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gold favorite. The menu is 17 pages long.
I mean, honestly, there was a lady, I think, that made it like her New Year's resolution to try everything on the menu at Jitlada.
Oh, yeah.
And can you imagine? I think you'd have to eat there every day.
I mean, I'm so lost when I go there.
Yeah. It's like that would be like Super Size Me, but just like super, super timey, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that movie, actually.
Great movie. Honestly, I watched that too in, it must have been like elementary school, middle school. It was like a school project. And I remember it was supposed to like scare you away from fast food. And I was like, literally, how do I get that job?
Yeah.
And, I feel like that's what we're doing right now, you know?
I watched it late. Like I was in my 20s when I saw it. And the first thing I did after that movie was go to McDonald's. I was like, I gotta do it.
They probably made some decent money off of that movie, honestly.
I would imagine.
Yeah. It's great advertising for like a certain subset of the population.
Totally.
that also happens to hate themselves.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, my number 7 is a taco spot in East LA called Asadero Chikali.
Ooh, okay.
It's one of the places I went to on my countdown last year, my taco crawl through LA.
Yeah.
And I think it's some of the best tacos you can get. I love it for 2 reasons. One is before 1 p.m., they do guisados, which are like, Mexican stews, right? Which are traditionally breakfast foods. And they have like a good selection of them. They're all incredible. And then at 1 p.m., they switch over to their asada, which is their specialty. So you're getting some incredible char-grilled asada at 1 p.m. So if you show up at like 12:30, 12:45, best of both worlds. You get a couple guisados, take them down. At 1 p.m., you order the asada, and you've just had 2 of the best experiences you can have taco-wise in LA. In my opinion.
Doing that. That's on my list now.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing that on your account. I can hear it now. I did it. I had lunch and breakfast at the same time. All right, what's your number 6, man?
All right, number 6 is let's see. I'm gonna go with my Korean barbecue spot.
Okay, I love it.
Haejangcheon.
I haven't heard of this one.
I'm probably like butchering the name, but it's on 6th. It's a really, really long wait if you go at a typical time.
Yeah.
But they're open pretty late, like till 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe 4.
Oh, epic.
Yeah, and the reason why I love them is like you cook all your meat, and they'll ask you at the beginning, do you want rice or do you want rice at the end? Which sounds like, why would I want rice after I've already gorged myself? But if you wait till the end, they fry the rice on the skillet that you've been cooking all the meat on. And then they put kimchi in it. So it's like this kimchi fried rice with all of the good juices of all the meat and stuff.
Yeah. That's something I want to like die and be buried in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that there. I'm sure other places do it, but not all of them. And that is my favorite.
Talk about a good marker of a good K barbecue spot is if they do that, you're in pretty good hands.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, my number 6 is Sichuan Impression.
Okay.
It is a Sichuan restaurant, as the name would imply.
Yeah.
There's one in the San Gabriel Valley and there's one in Westwood, actually. And it is just truly lights out food. Just like I love that Sichuan pepper sort of mouth numbing thing that happens.
Yeah.
This is a great place to experience that. They've got this like, you can't really go wrong with anything you order here, but my favorite dish are these like whole fried prawns with the head on, which are just like fried to absolute perfection. And they're interspersed with these chilies, which just, I'm a big fan of spice. So Sichuan Impression, it does it for me.
Amazing. Wow. Okay.
So we actually skipped number 7 on ChatGPT. So I'll give you 7 and 6 from ChatGPT. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So number 7 is Felix Trattoria.
Oh, okay. All right. Hear a lot about Chef Evan.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it, man. I think it's a little overrated.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I for how difficult it is to get a reservation and the amount of money that you're charged to eat here, I expect better. I just do. I feel like
interesting. Yeah.
He makes all his pasta from scratch, like you and I talked about, which is hard to do, right? But
totally.
I feel like not all pastas need to be made from scratch. There are certain pastas that are better fresh and some that are better dry. And I feel like he's so fanatical about making every single one fresh, and some of the dishes suffer from it. So,
wow, that's a hot take. That's interesting.
Yeah, look, that's what you came here for, right? Hot
I
takes.
did. Yeah, I'm here for it, and I haven't tried it. And I'm curious. Have you gone to Mother Wolf?
I have. I think I like it a little bit better.
Okay.
But the pastas I have the same opinion on. But I really like their pizza. They have like a Roman style pizza tonda, which is like, I think it's the only place in LA where you can get this style of pizza. It's like very common in Rome at like sort of like, your run of the mill pizzerias where you'd go with your friends on the weekends for like a $7 pizza and a beer. And they're very thin, very crispy with like very charred edges. And he does it very well, I have to say.
Cool.
And then I really like, they have this fried artichoke antipasto, which is also very good. So I like Mother Wolf better than Felix for sure. But I'm not rushing to go back to either of them, let's just say.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Good to know.
And so, speaking of defunct restaurants, to your point earlier about how this information is from 2021 or something like that.
Yeah.
So the number 6, I believe, is a defunct restaurant now. It's Trois.
Trois is gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad
It
times.
is sad. I've heard there's talks about kind of doing it again somewhere.
Yeah. Well, if you can't get Trois these days, you can always get Petit, which you've been to, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's I'm not huge on French food, but I feel like if I'm gonna get it, that's probably the place to do it.
Right, 100%.
Yeah. All right, what's your number 5?
Well, as you would have it, is Petit Trois.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do dig it.
I do like it, and I felt like I really wanted to have something kind of French higher end on here, and I haven't tried a lot of it. But that's the place that I really love.
Yeah. Well, hey, feels like a top 10 list needs a French restaurant.
You got to have it. I don't want it all to be, these under $15 places.
Yeah, no, like make the people spend some money,
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, my number 5 is Sushi Bar in the Valley.
Oh, okay. I've read about it's Michelin, right?
Yes, it's Michelin. Yeah. This is probably my most expensive restaurant on my list.
Uh-huh.
I went there for the night that I proposed to my significant other. Wow. And because her favorite food is sushi, and this place just looked incredible. It's by this Top Chef alum called Philip Franklin Lee.
Right.
And he doesn't come across great on the show. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But his restaurant is excellent.
Cool.
It's a great experience. The sushi, it's good if like I remember it being phenomenal, even though I pretty much blacked out that evening because I was so nervous about proposing after the meal.
Yeah.
Like the last thing on my mind was the food.
Right.
But the fact that I can remember it, that says something.
That's really cool. Yeah. I've been there. I really want to try his restaurants, but I haven't gotten a chance to. Yeah. I had stayed at there's this hotel in Montecito.
Yeah.
Have you been there? It's called, what's it called?
It's the one that the guy that owns the Grove owns, right? The guy who ran for mayor, Rick Caruso.
No, actually, well, maybe he does. But I know what you're talking. There is a resort there.
Yeah.
But there's this other, it's a tiny little hotel. It's Charlie Chaplin used to own it back in the day.
Oh, wow.
I think it's called like the Montecito Inn.
Okay.
And it's very like old Hollywood.
Yeah.
But Philip Franklin Lee, they brought him in to like open 2 or 3 restaurants there. And I was there and they were kind of just getting him going. And I really wanted to go back and do all that because I love that hotel. It's a great, little spot in a beautiful place.
Yeah. Well, guess we'll have to do a forking around LA Countdown collab on the road to Philip Franklin Lee's restaurants in Santa Barbara. I love that. And also, if anybody wants to subsidize that, we'll start a GoFundMe because they're quite expensive restaurants.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Well, speaking of expensive restaurants, ChatGPT's number 5 is Republique.
Okay. I haven't been there, been wanting to.
Yeah, I have been there. It's good. It's It's French, so
yeah.
I'm not super impressed with ChatGPT for doing, back-to-back French restaurants on their list.
That's interesting.
It feels lazy. To me.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
But what's your number 4?
Number 4. Okay, so now I'm going with my sushi spot, which is an all-you-can-eat, which usually is bad. Or
I was gonna
mid.
Say, this is bold. This is a bold choice.
But Midori Sushi,
Okay.
There's 2 locations. You gotta go to the Encino one. The one in Sherman Oaks is not as good, but the Encino one has really, really good sushi, good fresh fish for all you can eat. And because like when I want sushi, I don't want 2 rolls. I want to be rolled out of the restaurant.
Yeah, that's a great dude. I could not agree more. It's
Yeah.
it's a great motto for life. I'm reading this book right now on like a Japanese philosophy for happiness. And part of their instructions are like to eat until you're 80% full.
Wow.
Because apparently that's like how you ensure that like you can be satisfied without like being overly, stuffed and like useless for the rest of the day. Man, the
Wow.
moment I read that, I was like, I know I'm not going to find happiness this way.
Yeah.
Because
there's no happiness there.
There's no happiness. Being 80% full, that's called being hungry.
Yeah.
So the same for me. So
yeah.
Midori Sushi, I'm suspicious about the all-you-can-eat label, but I like the fact that I'm not going to be hungry.
No, you won't be hungry, and there is the fish there is the quality is just very good.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Midori Sushi. Time my number 4 because it's one that you've also mentioned. It's Jitlada.
Okay.
LA classic. I think it's it's consistently one of the best options in town for one of my favorite cuisines, aka Thai food. So I put it up to number 4.
Okay.
And ChatGPT's number 4 is another trendy Venice spot called Gjelina.
Oh, okay.
Have you been?
No, I haven't. I haven't been to any. Well, I didn't have a lot of money back before the pandemic.
And that's when
today.
It was cool. And that's what. But Gjelina was really cool. Probably when I don't know. Definitely when I was in my most broke stage, aka college and post college. Like,
yeah,
Gjelina was like really trendy in like 2012, and I did not have 2 pennies to rub together back then. So
right.
I've been since, but I can't vouch for it. If it's as good as it was back then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, I feel like ChatGPT is like getting lazy on us here because Gjelina is not a very like inspired choice in my opinion.
I'm not like I'm not super impressed by ChatGPT today. Not that they haven't picked, and I haven't been to many of these restaurants, but I've read and experienced them with my eyes and my mind so many times.
Right.
And I'm like, I know there's even better places than that.
Right. I was kind of impressed with like Langer's at 10. I was like, okay, this is going to be a hot take list, but so far it's pretty as expected, and
little old.
Yeah, pretty as expected for like 2012. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're getting into the business end of things here. What's your bronze medal restaurant?
All right, bronze medal. We're gonna go with classic LA institution, El Cholo.
El Cholo. I love it. Talk me through why is it so high on your list?
So it's a lot of these are really personal to me, more than like, oh, I went there and had this amazing meal. But so there are 2 locations of El Cholo. There's the one on Vermont or Western or whatever that is. And then there's one in Santa Monica on Wilshire. And I used to work right there. And so we would have these like 3-4 hour breaks. And so El Cholo was kind of the spot, like once a week.
So you just go get hammered on margaritas during your 3-4 hour breaks?
Pretty much. Yeah, I'm a musician, so that's it's part of the job.
And so you just go back to work after and be like, yep, I'm ready to go.
Yes.
I love it.
So, and I always enjoyed the food there I always enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, dude, there's a place in the canon for classic Mexican food like that,
Totally.
So I'm not judging at all, though I will say my number 3 is a slightly different type of Mexican food, and that's your basic, to me, the best tacos in LA right now, and that's Villa's Tacos.
I've been seeing those a lot.
Dude, we got to get you out to this neck of the woods.
In the East LA, right?
Yeah.
In Highland Park.
Yeah, we got to get you out to the northeastern LA neck of the woods and go to Villa's, because honestly, man, some of the best tacos I've ever had.
Cool.
And could not be made by a cooler person as well, so that's definitely influences me a little bit because I just love seeing that dude's success. Victor Villa, he started in his like grandma's driveway, and
Wow. Yeah.
has just been doing such an incredible job for these last few years. It's been really cool to watch. So
That's
he's my
amazing.
number 3 best restaurant in LA.
Wow.
So
It's a great pick.
thank you very much. If I'll take that. Number 3 on ChatGPT's list. Now we're getting to the realm which I just cannot afford. Even though we've already been in that realm on the chat GPT list. It's Naka.
Oh, okay.
Japanese Kaseki restaurant,
Yep.
Culver City. I went to her other like cheaper restaurant late last year, and it was very excellent. So I can see why this is probably high on the list.
Yes.
And I like Chef's Table, and her episode was good.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
2 Michelin stars. You can't really compete there in LA, at least.
No. So Anaka, I feel like we can give ChatGPT a pass on this one.
That's probably a solid choice.
Yeah. So now we're silver medal territory. What you got?
Okay. And remember, I'm not like they're not really in particular order, but I did kind of try to order it a little bit.
Look, people are already judging you whether you like it or not.
I know.
So.
That's what I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't even know why I care because people are gonna hate my picks. Some of them. Okay, so King's Head, Santa Monica.
King's Head, the pub, right?
The pub.
Yeah.
It's I think the best fish and chips in LA currently today.
Dude, I'm dying for some fish and chips now. I haven't craved it probably in a decade, and now just the words make me want to do it.
So I mean, but you just my great grandparents used to own a fish and chips restaurant in Glendale back in the day, and that's
so cool.
So yeah, they're all from the UK, and my grandfather loved fish and chips, and so there were kind of a few spots where they had the good fish and chips, and most of them have gone away except for the King's Head, and that is my place to get fish and chips. You can go sit in the restaurant, which is really nice, and get a like traditional English dinner or whatever, or you can go into the actual bar and enjoy some soccer and a couple pints and live your life.
Yeah, well, I feel like now that you've told us that you are a fish and chip connoisseur, not just by eating but by blood.
Yes,
that this must be a pretty valid recommendation.
I do love it. There was a place that I liked better in Burbank called the Buchanan Arms, but that has since retired itself. So
R.I.P. Buchanan Arms.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, my second pick is not as exciting. I went with Bavel.
Cool.
I think it's an excellent restaurant. I think I felt the pressure to get a little bit fancy,
Yeah.
So it's honestly like got some of the most consistently excellent food by one of the most excellent teams out there.
Totally.
Who also own some other incredible restaurants. So I went with it. I just took the plunge and I went with Bavel.
I think that's the right choice, and it should. I would be shocked if it's not on ChatGPT's. Honestly,
you're gonna be shocked. Right?
Am I?
Yeah, because the number 2 restaurant they have is Osteria Mozza.
Oh, okay.
I am impressed that it got this high on their list.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have seen this in Langer's territory, like down at the bottom of the list, but the fact that it's up here is like, kind of surprising.
Yeah. That is, well, and I feel like again, it's a little bit not anything against it. It's been around a while.
It's been, it's an oldie. It's an
oldie. And so,
but, I do have like a pet peeve of like all these like top 10 lists only going with new spots.
Sure.
So to me, I really appreciate when lists keep bringing back old places that just do it well consistently. Like Jonathan Gold's 101 list. He consistently would bring back Atari Deli in Westwood, the Persian sandwich shop. And that always like made me smile because like, that place hasn't changed at all. It's still doing incredible things. Why should it be taken off the list if it's still making incredible food,
Sure.
Just because it's not like, the new hot Michael Voltaggio sandwich shop in West Hollywood. No,
which I
feel
loved.
yeah, that was good too. That was good too.
Yeah.
But so you know what, ChatGPT, more power to you for putting Osteria Mozza too.
Yeah, I love it. And talk about LA. If you talk about LA chefs, you kind of can't talk about it without Nancy Silverton.
Nancy Silverton, the GOAT.
So, yeah.
All right, we're here. It's number one time. What you got for us, Daniel?
This might be my favorite current restaurant in LA, which we talked about when I met you, is Catine.
Catine. Okay, so you went fancy with your last one.
Yeah. Well, I worked there, so that is like the preface here.
Oh wow, so this is a totally selfish pick.
It's totally selfish. I know the menu inside and out, at least as it was like a couple months ago. And I've tried everything in multiple ways at every time, and I could talk about the menu, ad nauseum.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit biased. But
it's insider trading is what it is.
Insider trading, it is.
Yeah.
But within saying that, because Catine is kind of like a trendy, especially when summer comes around again, it's going to be all trendy, and like the Tulum inspired like restaurant is there's like a billion of them in LA now.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that. It's a great vibe, and it feels beautiful, and it kind of takes you away. But I honestly think at Catine, the fact that it's so beautiful and it's so like Instagrammable and so trendy actually distracts from how good the food is.
Wow. Okay.
Because the food is very not. I will say there are menu items that are better than others, in my personal opinion, but that's true of anywhere. But the ones that are good are very unique. They're very the Chef Wes is an LA homegrown kid. And so he's got this Mexican influence, this LA influence, and he's French trained. So there's all of that going into his food.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my favorite chefs. I mean, I was a massive fan of Guerrilla Tacos. I've loved Angry Regret. I haven't been to Catine yet, but he's a genius. He's an artist. He's an artist.
He is. Yeah. He is. And when you get to, when you hear him talk about food, or his, because I would be in these team meetings and he would be talking about the new dish, it is with the utmost passion.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of chefs are like that, but he's the real deal.
Was he like an angry artist? Like somebody is like, oh, could I hold the salt or the prosciutto on that one? He's like, no, how dare you? No substitutions.
He would not be happy, but luckily he had a CDC to kind of take care of the anger.
Yeah.
But they would always provide the salt.
Yeah. Good to know.
Or do they won't like. The biggest thing about Catine is people would be like, there's this like really, really interesting Oaxacan style quesadilla on the menu. And people would always want to be like, can I add chicken or steak? And I'd be like, well, first of all, we don't have chicken. And second of all, no, the steak is $125. And you can get that if you want.
We're not gonna overcook that and slice it up so you can have it in your quesadilla, Becky. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys don't have tacos? You can make tacos out of all of our dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. People are infuriating.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, man.
Serving is the worst. That's the worst job in the world.
But
God bless all the servers.
Makes you a better person,
I think a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely empathetic in some ways.
Yes. I'm a better diner because
which is huge, honestly. There's some horrific diners out there.
True.
Okay, so my number one restaurant, I'm a total homer. It's my favorite food, pizza, and it's my one of my favorite chefs. It's a restaurant I know you know as well, and I'm going with Pizzana.
You're going Pizzana as number one.
I go Pizzana. It's my favorite restaurant. If I were to like die tomorrow, and if there was a mobster outside and he's like, "Look, you haven't paid me back. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. sharp, I am gonna meet you here, and I'm gonna drive you out to the desert, and I'm gonna. That's it for you.
Yeah.
So enjoy your last day.
Yeah.
I would immediately call Pizzana and be like, "Hey, can I come to dinner tonight?"
Wow.
And I would spend all my money. That's how I would go.
You know what's interesting about this is both of our number one picks I've worked at.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's your favorite? What's your Pizzana order?
So last time I went for the first time, the chef Danielle told me to get the pignatiello.
Yeah, that one's
So
very good.
it's like it's got like the braised short rib. I think he puts on like house-made Parmesan cream and stuff.
Hmm.
But honestly, it's his dough, man, that does it for me. And you know,
Yes, yeah.
you talk about Chef West being like an artist. That's how I view Danielle as being with pizza. You know,
Mhm.
he is someone who just like eats, breathes, sleeps dough, and you know, knows more about it than anyone I've ever come across. And so
Yeah.
that love and passion just shines through in everything he does. You know, he was like, you know, going back to the kitchen to like get sopressata that he dried and made in house. You know,
Wow.
like so, like his attention to detail is unlike anything I've really seen at most other restaurants, let alone pizza restaurants. You know, so
Sure.
it's truly pizza's an art form, and it being my favorite food, I had to put it number one.
Yeah, I love it. I think it is a great choice for pizza. The dough is it's exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ChatGPT's number one pick.
Hmm.
Do you have any guesses?
Based on what it's been doing, let's see. This is not that I can think of quick enough.
It's Providence.
Interesting. Okay, in Hollywood. In Hollywood?
This is in Hollywood. This
Yeah.
is, you know, I think it's like one of the most highly rated restaurants in Los Angeles. I think it's got the most Michelin stars. Could be
Uh-huh.
wrong on that, but certainly it's in that conversation.
Sure.
And look, I've never been. I admit it, so I can't really talk too much, but this feels like a lazy pick.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like saying like what's it like? It's like saying like who's the best football player of all time, and then you just say like Tom Brady, right?
Right.
Because won all the accolades, been doing it the longest or something. And sure, there's a case to be made, but it's not the pick the people want, you know?
Right. Yeah. Right.
There's better picks out there. There's more interesting picks.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you on that.
So
And
how do you think we did overall?
I mean, I think I'm proud. I'm proud of it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because I think these are two lists, yours and mine, that you'll never see them.
Yeah, it's true. And not so do you think we're going to be replaced by AI anytime soon?
Not yet.
So you don't think that there's going to be like a weird robot deep fake of you on TikTok going like I did it. I went to this restaurant.
Honestly, no. Unless I can program him myself and sit in my chair and relax while he works, I don't think so. Although I think eventually that robot is going to be writing all my captions.
Well, that would be a big time saver.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe there's a role for ChatGPT after all.
I think there is in the future. We're going to be good friends.
Well, Daniel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post our lists and ChatGPT's list on Instagram and put it up for a vote so people can decide whose list won. Okay.
Great.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on, man. Where can people find you?
Thank you for having me on Instagram and TikTok, YouTube and Facebook. Forking Around TV. The ats are a little bit different on everyone, but it's all the same. And if you see a white guy yelling at a camera in a car, that's probably me.
We'll link to it in the show notes as well.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. The LA Food Podcast is brought to you by the LA Countdown. You can find the LA Countdown on social media, on Instagram and TikTok at the LA Countdown. That's TheLaCountdown. If you liked the LA Food Podcast, make sure you go to wherever you listen to podcasts, give us a review and a rating, and don't forget to subscribe.